In this video, we're going to take a look at how to convert your assignments into a digitally fillable piece. You can see this is already a very well crafted and created assignment with all of the required pieces. All we need to do is make some small changes. First, in the header, you're going to probably want a place for students to put their name. This means that even if they print it out, it'll make sense. But if you just do the underline and they fill it out digitally, it'll just make it look very strange. So we create a two-cell table. We write name in one of those pieces, and then we enlarge the other one so that they can fill it out. We remove the border from name, put the border back for the others, and now we see a full rectangle to let them know that this is something that they can fill. And if they put in their name in one section, it will appear in all of them. Now, one thing you might want to do is just change the height of your headers and footers to make sure that it doesn't negatively impact the actual formatting of your assignment. And once you see that it still looks fine, you can test out putting in the name and see that if it's in one of the headers, it is in all of them. These are the main skills that we need to have: how to create multi-cell tables, how to remove borders, and how to add them. Note that these lines are great to indicate what students should be doing if they are filling out a sheet on paper, but if they are doing it digitally, they'll want a box there to help indicate what they should be writing and where they should be writing it. The exact same way that we did with our name, we're just going to size the table, create that space for students to fill things in, and then change the border size. Once we have it nicely formatted, and text can be smaller digitally because students can choose to enlarge that if they want to, we will just make sure that the borders clearly indicate to students where they can and cannot make edits. Not only is this great for them, but it makes it really easy for us as educators to go by and instantly check all of the various pieces that we need to be aware of. We don't necessarily need to have multi-celled pieces for everything, but here just to demonstrate what that looks like, if we want to put in an end punctuation to let students know they only need to write one line there, I have done that. If we are hoping that students write multi-line pieces, the format will be a little bit different, but we will get to that as we move forward. So here we have everything looking good and making sense. It's difficult to combine things on two lines if we want students to write multiple lines. So the way we're going to handle this is not by creating multiple boxes there, but instead just adding an ellipsis, creating our table, and then sizing it appropriately. Through the appropriate sizing, we can indicate how much we want them to write. We can put in our maximum height, and that's a little bit too big. So we're actually going to go back into our properties and change it until we have something that suits our needs. Just like number of lines indicates expected length of response, size of text box will indicate the expected length of response digitally. Now, if you find that you want similar setups, for example, I want to go back to having my 3-cell table, I can just copy it and paste it and change what the text is. That makes it a little bit quicker for me to get things set up properly. And any way that we can save time is great, especially if you are looking to convert a number of your documents to be better suited for digital environments. I like to use this format when I'm putting my assignments up on Google Classroom, because then I can share a document with every student and they all get their own unique copies to fill in already there. And because everything's in the box, as mentioned before, All I need to do is look at those sections to make sure that I know where students are writing their own unique entries. Once again, because I want a similar length here, I just need to copy that box from the question above and paste it in. At this point, it's mostly down to formatting. I want to make sure that everything is still on one page. Now, you don't need to. You could think of this as an infinite canvas because we are working digitally, but I'd still like, if students choose to print it out, for them to have it neatly organized. All I need below is the space for them to write their paragraph. And I'm going to create this by once again making some copies. But first, I need to change the font size inside these boxes in order to make sure that I actually am indicating how much I want them to write. Of course, if our font size inside the boxes is too big, then students will be writing enough. And if it's too small, they may feel that they have to write too much. So all I'm going to do is paste my box right here and go back in, create the size. This one's a little bit larger. And delete it so it's back on the one page. Make a few small adjustments. I want to get rid of that third bottom page, so I'm going to make little micro adjustments to font sizes because I can't just delete that line. And these small changes have now occurred. We can see that my paragraphing piece is right there. Once again, I'm just changing the font size to what I think is appropriate. And now they will be able to see 100% how much is expected of them. So when students type here, you can help indicate the expected length of response as you have set the text box for them. Now again, keep in mind that the text box will expand if they write more than you have created the space for. This is similar to them writing really small below the lines on a page. But even with all of that, it is a really good way to give those boundaries to students who are never quite sure how much they should be writing. If you use this technique, it should be clear for students where they are to write and how much they have to write. And it should be clear for you as an educator where you need to be paying close attention and where you need to be focusing your comments on. And up at the top, I'm just going to change the title so that we know that this is the digital version, and that's it. You're done. You've created your piece.